Okay, everyone, so this week we're going to be talking about communicating via email. And I can tell you from the standpoint of looking at your career right now as a student, as a college student, and then moving on to your career in the job or in the job market, the workplace, whatever you want to call it. Communicating effectively via email is something that will really quickly set you apart from everybody else, because I see so many people communicate poorly via email. And again, it goes back to what we were talking about last week, is focusing on your audience. When you're typing out your email, you need to obviously think about getting your ideas across, but you need to think about who you are sending this to and in what manner or what way do you need to communicate to make sure that that person reads your email and also continues to engage with you after you send that email. I mean, think about it. When you type out an email to your instructor, is your instructor going to say, "Oh my gosh, this is an awful email. I don't even understand what this person is trying to say, and they're really rude and their tone is awful." Now, you may not have intended that at all, but if you're not thinking about that sort of thing when you send the email and before you hit send, that's really going to have a negative result for you when you're trying to interact with your instructor. Now, that has to be a springboard for when you email anybody else. And what you have to think about, and I think this is where a lot of people mess up, I think because we text so much with our friends and our families, and it's really laid back and it has a lot of slang to it, that we think email is much the same thing. It is 100% not. I mean, it is the opposite of a text message. So if you're sending emails the way that you send text messages, that's going to be a problem for you professionally. Okay, so you need to have the mindset of every time I send an email, this is professional. I need to sit down and really think about my wording, how I get it across, and everything else. Kind of going back to what we discussed last week, I mentioned in the video talking about trigger words. For me, with text and emails, one of my triggers is when people use the letter U instead of YOU. I cannot tell you how much I hate that. Anytime anybody sends me something and the letter U is instead of YOU, I don't care if it's a student, a friend, a colleague, I get irritated. I'm sitting there thinking, why can't you type in YO before the U? I mean, come on, it's awful. So that's something that you all need to think about as you're typing those emails. And the content that you'll see this week with all of the videos and all the websites, that's going to help you do the assignments for this week. Okay, so the assignments that we have for this week are going to, first of all, help you have some practice in composing really professional emails, and then also taking some emails that are really terrible and making them even better. Again, this is a great communication skill for you to use, and is something that I hope that you will take far into your career as an effective communicator.